Welcome. How you doing? Good? Good. How about you get your damn candy and your popcorn and your soda pop and sit your ass down, 'cause old Curse here is about to tell you a story. The story of my life. No bullshit. My grandpa Chaos was a hero back in the days where cowboys... Hey, now hold your horses a second, alright? I know you're complaining, being like, oh, Curse, this supposed to be about you. You're talking about your grandpa in the story? Yeah, I am. Now hold on a second. Sit right there, okay? I'll get to me whenever the hell I feel like it. But right now, I'm doing a damn backstory to the backstory, so shut the hell up and let me do it. Thank you. My grandpa Chaos was a hero back in the old days where cowboys and outlaws roamed the West. When I say hero, I mean he saved towns full of people at a time, served quick justice to murderers, thieves, bandits, all sorts of scum. So many dead bodies fell at his hands that when strangers rode into a town he cleaned of crime, they would say pure chaos must be walking the streets. And so that's what he went by. Eventually he met a girl, settled down, decided to quit roaming the world looking for trouble, and steadily did. Gramps found himself a place where power meant control, and he could run things his way, keep everything in line. A place called Doom. Chaos ran Doom for a long time. He had a kid there too. The only kid he ever had, because it cost his wife her life. And as that kid got older, town got bigger. Politicians and general rich folk moved in with their money and plenty of people to buy to get power once Chaos was gone. So that kid started trying to decide his fate as the next leader of Doom. But Chaos told him if he wanted power, he'd have to earn it. And that kid, well, he never really wanted power, he just wanted control. And if he couldn't control a city, he'd control anything else he could. That kid was my father. He grew into a horrible person, bitter that he wasn't given what he wanted. And once Chaos got too old to keep running Doom, the politicians took over and became just as corrupt as father was. Crime littered the streets, but it was crime that made the leaders money. Tax people to pay the police and promise that the crime will go down. And it never would. In the midst of all that, father managed to find someone that was either gullible or f***ed up in the head enough to go along with his way of thinking, and they had my brother Badro. Grandpa Chaos stuck around, tried to teach and protect Badro the best he could, but he was old and a lot weaker than he used to be, and Badro had to take a lot of the beatings for himself. And Badro started growing a hatred and anger inside of himself that he used to keep him strong, and meanwhile he was listening and learning from Chaos as much as he could. By the time I was born, 5 years later, Chaos was sick, couldn't even get out of bed some days, and the parents weren't getting any damn nicer, so it was up to my brother to protect me. And I ain't sure how much worse he had it after I came around, but I'm sure him sticking up for me pissed him off quite a bit. And while he was suffering, I was with Grandpa hearing stories of his heroic deeds and adventures of his life. Badro's only escape from the violence was school. He was stronger and tougher than the other kids, and became top dog pretty quick, even despite bringing me along as a baby to keep me safe. And by the time I was 5 years old, Chaos died. I was in the room with him. Badro was outside being beaten with a shovel for not digging a f***ing hole fast enough. Grandpa gave me his hat before he died, and he told me to give his gun to Badro, which I did. It was loaded too, so I asked Badro that night if he was going to shoot Mom and Dad, and he told me he was thinking about it, and I asked him if he'd get in trouble for it. He told me prison, probably. So I asked him to take care of me if he did, and then he put the gun away. He always protected me as best as he could. I still got beat a lot, but after they were done with him, they were too tired to get me quite as bad. And then the bullies at school started. I was weak, easy target. Badro couldn't protect me at school, And one day, 3 kids grabbed me, dragged me into the bathroom, beat me, punches, kicks, slammed my face off the wall and toilets and sinks, nearly drowned me. And then they stole my hat when I was laying there defenseless. Eventually, when I regained consciousness, stumbled home in the dark, where Dad was there to beat me too for being home late. He told me no food, sleep in the yard. Well, so I did. Curled up next to a tree and fell asleep. And when Badro came back home, he saw me. He got pissed off, ran inside, grabbed Grandpa's gun, threatened to blow Dad's brains out, and went back outside, picked me up, and ran. We stayed in an abandoned motel for 3 weeks, ate rats, bugs, slept on the floor with rats crawling up on us, old musty mattresses, no heating, just a small fire and some old blankets, and our clothes too, I guess. But I loved it. No parents, no school, just me and my brother. He taught me a lot in those 3 weeks. He even taught me everything he knew about fighting, and when he was done with it, he told me to get Grandpa's hat back. Eventually, though, we had to go back. We were afraid police would find us, although turns out nobody was looking for us. Mom and Dad were a lot less violent now that Badro had a gun as leverage against them, but they weren't really kind by any means, and kids at school weren't either. A few of them told me they were hoping I was dead. And then I saw him. That dumb mother that stole my hat. And I beat him within an inch of his life right there in that hallway in front of all those people that were telling me they wished I was dead. I took my hat back, I looked up, and I said, "It's gonna change around here." And then I calmly walked to the office with the principal, where he made multiple attempts to call my parents, calls they just ignored. And so I waited till school was over and left. My brother was so proud of me that night he shared some stolen whiskey with me and taught me how to smoke. 2 bad habits I never quite managed to let go of. And so I kept training. I wanted to get stronger, tougher, and so maybe one day I could not only make my brother proud, but protect him like he always did me. I never turned down a fight at school or on the streets, and eventually I stopped losing. People started thinking I was cool. My motives for trying started to change. Popularity got to my head, and I started acting like I was the best thing around. People bought it too. Even the kids older than me thought I was the toughest thing there was. My brother started being ignored by the people that used to think he was cool, and he started getting jealous about it. He thought I was trying to ruin his reputation or take his spotlight, and he was mad that I got such an ego too. Decided to take that ego out of me by beating me up in front of everyone at school. I didn't realize I was a problem though. All I knew was that my brother just turned on me. The only living person that really cared just stopped. And at that moment, I felt just about every negative emotion someone can feel flowing through me all at once. And I made a very stupid plan. Plan I regret to this damn day. At night, I stole my brother's gun, and I shot my parents. Then I framed my brother for it. Cops came, arrested him, sent him to prison. Then I had no one. I left the house, walked around trying to gather my thoughts, and I just couldn't. I just roamed the city, staying wherever I could, fighting anyone that was causing trouble, fighting anyone I didn't like, just trying to do something with all that negativity. Started drinking more and smoking more. Eventually I couldn't go a day without a bottle. It helped me forget, or at least just focus on the present. I went without a home for a few years, making money off the trouble I stopped. It was around that time when I met a kid named Jack Daniels. We were both walking down a dark alley. We both saw the same girl getting mugged by a couple of guys, and we both decided to help. Except his idea was to knock him out, and mine was to shoot him in the skull. And either way, kid recognized me, asked to be my sidekick. And I told him I'm no hero, but I guess we can meet friends. And we spent some time together stopping some crimes and stuff around the city, and Until eventually my brother came back to haunt me. He went crazy with all that negativity. Same sort of stuff I felt, but the only difference is he didn't have no way to cope with it, because he was just locked in a cell by himself for years, till he escaped. Then he wanted me dead. He was willing to kill anyone and anything in order to get what he wanted. It started out as just random people, innocent, but not innocent enough for me to face my fears. Just your average normal adult turning up dead in the streets with notes strapped to him, calling me out, telling me to find the killer, wanting me to be a hero, but I was scared. I hid. I watched the news every day, and he started getting worse, old people, children, even entire buildings full of people, and no more gunshots to the skull either. It was mutilations. His notes were getting more and more detailed too. He was describing more and more and more of his reasons for it, and I find myself starting to sympathize with him. I could understand why he was the way he was, and that's when I stopped fearing him. He was still my brother. This was a personal issue. Nobody else needed to be killed over this shit. So I found him. By the look in his eye, I knew there was no talking him out of it. So we fought, and I killed my brother. Same one who had protected me and cared about me for so long. And I ain't gonna lie, I felt horrible about it, but the people on the news glorified it, calling me a hero for killing him. Some monster that escaped from prison, butchering people, but I just thought of it as I killed my brother, and the last thing I needed was to be put on a pedestal for it. So I left Doom, and my sidekick, and I went to a little town called Clearwood, stole a house. Now, Clearwood is a town full of real strange people. Some are good, some are bad, some are just weird, but all those motherfuckers are strange. Everywhere you look, people have weird powers and abilities. There's even people walking around that are part animal. And to top it all off, seems to be a magnet for crazy world-ending too, but I'll get to that. First, let me tell you about the first of three very important people I met in Clearwood. He goes by the name of Slice. And I was sitting in my stolen abode, drinking and staring at the TV, when a thought came across my drunken mind that it might be fun to put a hit out on myself. And you may be thinking to yourself right now, Curse, do you got a death wish? Yeah, I did. So I hired the best of the best. A hitman with no failures in his record. Every job a success. And he came prepared. That son of a nearly had me beat. I got lucky. He was pretty damn tough for a blind guy, but I won. And I didn't kill him. I respected the fight he put up, and I knew he was just doing his job, so I made him an offer. He either works for me, or I do kill him. And being the smart, rational guy with a working self-preservation instinct he is, he took the deal. So I told him to go to Doom City and find a kid named Jack Daniels and help him out. So he did, and I stayed in Clearwood. Eventually I started going outside, taking walks around town, trying to get used to the place, and kicking the odd ass every here and there, but just really getting used to the place. And that's when I met a guy named Travis. Weird guy, even back then. He had the creepiest damn smile you'd ever seen, but it didn't scare me. And he didn't seem to have any friends either, so I figured I'd talk to him. And we were friends for a few days, till I went to his house and found his little secret. He killed his family, but whatever, I killed mine too. I could overlook that part. What I couldn't overlook, though, is the fact he had a girl locked up ready to kill, and also the fact that he ate dead bodies. And when I figured that out, it kind of started to make sense to me why his teeth looked like razor blades. But I wasn't about to let some cannibal freak eat some girl, so I decided to free her, and I took her to my stolen house, just in case that freak was looking for her still. And I ain't really sure to this day why I didn't just shoot the bastard in the head right then and there, but it doesn't really matter because he did come looking for her, and when he did, I shot him in the head. Now, if you can't tell, I ain't really the easiest guy to get along with, but for some reason she wanted to stay with me anyway, so I let her. And I guess I should mention her name was Cassie Rangers. Anyways, after saving her and killing that cannibal freak, it gave me an idea. I was going to be a hero, and I was going to make up for my wrongs somehow. So I called up Slice and Jack, and we formed the Curse Gang. Just the three of us. And then that cannibal freak came back, and he had some new powers. Mainly one where he couldn't be killed anymore, and trust me, I tried. And he started threatening my friends, and so I had to make a deal with him. My life for theirs. I die, he leaves them alone. And he accepted my deal and killed me. And I went to hell. I woke up in a pit of fire. Screams of pain and suffering surrounded me. But all I felt was anger. I didn't want out or really feel like I deserved better, but I needed out. People needed me, depended on me, and I wasn't going to let them down, so I did what I could. I killed some demons, I killed death, and I killed the devil himself, and I was put back in Clearwood. 6 years had passed. People had lost hope in me coming back. Jack and Slice went their separate ways, and Cassie was alone for the most part. That cannibal freak was stalking her, scaring her, haunting her, and when we saw each other again, she hugged me, and I was kind of surprised by it, but I hugged her too. But before anything too sappy could happen, she started telling me what was going on while I was gone, and got kind of pissed off and went on a hunt for that cannibal freak. Didn't really find a damn thing though, so I just assumed he got scared I'd win round 3 and left. The next few years went by pretty peacefully. Found Jack and Slice, we started the gang back up, and life was good. I got famous for saving the world from things, aliens, demons, people, mostly people. Then my son Callan was born, and I was too stupid to think or stop or slow down on the hero to be there for him, and I'd be gone for months fighting whatever new threat was out there. I had power like I'd never had before. Cut down on the drinking and smoking, and I'd even stopped aging since I came back from hell. Cassie, Jack, and Slice all stopped aging too, but I'm not sure they ever noticed. I was too focused on the hero ignoring my family, until something came around to give me yet another reality check. That cannibal freak was back, and this time he wanted my kid, and I realized I couldn't kill him even with my power, but he couldn't kill me either, and he knew it too, so he'd play mind games. He got Callan to see him as a friend. Callan was so far gone, cared so much about that freak, didn't care nothing about me. There wasn't a damn thing I could do to stop it. So he stole my son from me. And then to top it all off, Callan killed Cassie. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't regret what I'm about to tell you, but it's how it happened. I killed Callan. Jack managed to talk me out of doing any more damage, so I just returned to my old life, pretending not to care about drinking, smoking, even more than I used to, wandering the world for a long time alone, sometimes with Jack and Slice. I'd show up whenever I was really, really needed, if some world-threatening showed up. Callan eventually came back with even more power and went off with that cannibal freak, but we didn't see each other until Pun Pun, the interdimensional galactic destroyer, someone that outmatched even my power, came. Took me, Travis, Callan, Jack, Slice, and a few other random nobodies to defeat him. I think one of them nobodies had a grappling hook, but that's about all I remember. Anyways, after that big fat purple mother died, his power was divided equally between everybody in the fight, and since I had even more power than I knew what to do with, I decided to just hop out of that world. And when I say world, I don't just mean that world. I mean the entire dimension, the entire universe, that entire plane of existence. And that's when I came here, to this world all y'all listening are in. Now, of course, my power here is limited. Still getting used to this damn 3D body, but the way I see it, I don't need all that power. Because I'm just here for fun.